We're going live in 5, 4, 3. No, we're live. Wait a second. We're already live. You know what that means. KoJack's live coming at you. We got 1-2 today. We are going to be playing some crazy 1-2. This game never disappoints. We've got all-in pots. We've got a pretty good roster of players. A couple of our dealers actually sitting down at the table. Off the clock, of course. But other than that, yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pretty stacked roster that we've got. We've got a lot of players buying in for the maximum 200 for this game today. And looks like everybody's setting up. Looks like we're going to begin here shortly. Let me give you a view of the table right now while we're setting things up. And then I'm going to keep talking to you about some of the events that we've got coming up. We are revamping our Sunday tournament schedule. Actually, we've been doing that so far this month. We're about halfway through November. So we've got our next tournament this Sunday going to be the Deep Stack Tournament on the 17th. $240 to enter. You get 30,000 chips, or you can buy a 10,000 chip bonus for $20. We're also doing the early bird special. If you come in before level 2, so during the pre-registration and during the first level, you'll be able to get some bonus chips as well. Doing a little early bird special. Those will be absolutely free chips if you register in time. In addition to that, you get a $100 add-on for 30,000 chips. So pretty exciting. We had a great tournament 2 Sundays ago when we did the Deep Stack. And then we switched on over to the Bounty Tournament last Saturday, and that was also a success. Last Sunday. That was pretty cool. We'll be doing another one on the 24th, so exactly a week from this Sunday. So make sure to check that out. We've got a lot of cool tournaments coming up as well towards the end of the year. And I don't want to speak too soon, but at the start of next year, 2025, we've got some really cool poker events coming up as well. It does look like our dealer here, Mr. Joey, one of my favorite dealers, is shuffling things up already, getting ready to go here. And we're going to high card for the button. We've got a couple of good players here. You can already see. We've got Jason in seat 1. Kenneth back in action, this time in seat number 3. Basil, Shay, Mark, Rebel Debate. I'm glad that we spelled out the word rebel. We've got Mysterious number 9 right there. Maybe an ode to one of those Tim Burton movies. And William in seat number 10. All players so far coming in for the maximum of 200. We've got a couple more players on the way, but we will begin 8-handed. We'll bump that number up to 10-handed like we normally do for these live streams as soon as those players do sit down. Now, it looks like Mr. William won the high card, button starting out in seat number 10, standard tournament structure. But aside from that, we should be able to get things going here. First hand looks like it's being pitched out right now, and we'll be moving on here pretty soon. Pretty good stuff. I'm thinking Mark may be one of the favorites for the today. Kenneth, usually a crusher as well. Basil, fan favorite, dressed to impress once again, wearing green this time. It's got the snake eyes. That might be one of my favorite bandana mask combinations that Basil wears. I like the blue as well. Blue is also pretty cool. It looks like this first hand here may be a little tricky for our readers. You can see Jason already raising it up to 7 right there. Looks like Kenneth is going to call. Let's see if Shay, yeah, he comes along as well. No hands being read at this point, so we are all in the blind. Consider this the warm-up, hand number 1. And after that, we will make sure to have the cards displayed. But other than that, it's kind of like you're sitting at the table here, just kind of watching the action. Now, our camera does work automatically, so it's interesting that it is still going around the table. You can see Jason checking. It looks like Kenneth piecing together a bet there. $12 is the bet. Shay thinking about making a call here. Now, the board is TBD. The hands are TBD, but Mark is down to bet, down to call right there, DTC. And it looks like Jason coming along, too. So 3 ways to the turn. Maybe we'll get a shot of this board here. No, indeed. No shot of the board. but the turn card is a king. I got that one. Oh, there we go. Basil does have a hand. Mark with the 8-7 suited. Okay. Not too bad there. 4s for Jason, queen 6 for Kenneth, and 2 pair on the flop for Kenneth. That's why Kenneth was betting on the last street. And here we go. Looks like he's going to make the call from Jason. Jason betting the overcard, but only has pocket 4s. Kenneth with 2 pair, kind of middle 2 pair right there by the turn. King of clubs on the turn. Mark with the flush draw. And let's see who our dealer Joey selects to be the winner here. Of course, absolutely. Getting a paired board, another king. Counterfeiting Kenneth. Any queen. Most queens are likely to beat Kenneth. Any queen higher than a 6 kicker. And Jason's going to bet. All in. Looks like Kenneth is going to fold. Mark is going to fold. And Jason shows his 2 pair. King's up. Kenneth not looking super happy about that one. But it was a strong bet. Jason bet the king. And then on the river bet that king as well. His story was believable. And a good opportunity for a bluff right there. So he totally took advantage of that. Dragged the first pot. And there you go. That's how it goes. Got a couple of viewers in the chat right now. Make sure to leave a like and a comment and a subscribe. And let me know where you're watching from on this Thursday here. Supermoon Thursday. Looks like it's going to be a little bit crazy out there. Fun fact, the word lunatic actually comes from the same root as the word luna, a.k.a. lunar or the moon. Back in the day, people thought that the moon had psychological types of impacts on people. And so lunatic refers to people acting crazy on the full moon. So let's see if we can get some actual lunatics in the chat. Some people acting crazy with this super moon out there. And it looks like a limped pot almost all the way around. Melvin in the blind did buy the blind, so he was able to come in right when he sat down here. Wearing some chains. I like to see it. Very nice bling. He's got pocket 7s, going to raise it up to $42. Just your standard 1-2 42 game. No big deal. And it looks like Melvin is going to thin the field. Kenneth calls with the queen 4. Jason gets out of the way with the K9. And here we go. I'm thinking teacup poodle today. Teacup poodle is the K9 hand of the day. King 6-5 K9 with a flopped top pair. Melvin betting looks like a solid 100 right there. And not sure if Kenneth will be able to call. And he does not. There's a fold right there. And Melvin scoops pot number 2. And Jason and Melvin sitting right next to each other on that side of the table. Looks like all the chips are going that way, at least for the first 2 hands. Jason up to 283, Melvin up to 250. Rebel debate, 200. Andy 200, William 200. Basil, Shay, Mark, and Kenneth down a little bit for now. But this will be a long-running game. They got plenty of time to make up for it. Kenneth down to about $100, but again, plenty of time and plenty of chips in his stack. All he needs is a double up to get back to even. Doubling up from there will double his buy-in. There we go. Shay with the 10-7 throws his hand in the muck. Folds around. Mark not playing the 8 tray. Rebel debate, a.k.a. Josh, not playing his hand either. William going to be coming along for the ride. Did not see whether he raised it up or just threw in a call. Ace 4 suited. That's good enough to limp out of the hijack. Jason with a Jack 9. Going to be raising it up to 7. Basil with the King Deuce. He may not be playing here. And it flop comes out. King high. King 10-7. Basil with the top pair. Now, our tech guru has informed me that we did not get Mr. Richard in the Las Vegas shirt in on time, so Basil is Richard for now. We will correct that on the next hand. And Melvin throwing out a position bet here. Queen 5. Made a pair of 5s. Richard put to the test. King top pair, no kicker. And William, $18 to call. Instead, throws his cards away. Jason with the Jack 9. Looking for a queen to make a straight or an 8. He's double guttered here. It looks like he's going to chase. He's looking for the straight. Making a little change for Mr. Richard, a.k.a. Basil. Again, only in this hand. Instead, Richard gets 2 pair, kings and 7s. Jason checking. Let's see if Melvin, with the best pair here, the best hand, throws out a bet. Looks like 50. Gets Richard to fold. And Jason makes the fold as well. Melvin scooping that pot. Basil watching from North Korea. He says, let's go. And there we go. Now we've got Richard officially in, coming in for $200 minus the couple of bets that he placed on the last hand. Other than that, we are now 10-handed. We've got the whole game, a full ring, ready to go. And we're moving on to hand number 3, I believe. Got Richard in the small blind this time. We've got Basil in the big blind this time. And we've got Mr. Shay under the gun. He is limping along. Mark raising it up to $7. Rebel Debate calling as well. We've got Andy calling. And then it folds around to Richard in the small blind. Mark with the ace jack. Rebel Debate with the pocket 8s. Shay with the ace 7 suited. And Shay does make the call. And this time, actually, Basil is in the hand. Basil not taking the place of Richard, sitting to his right. Andy with the pocket 6s. Letting the graphics load just a little bit. And there we go. Jack 10-9. Very connected board right there in terms of numbers, but not very connected in terms of suits. That is a rainbow board right there. Mark flopping top pair, top kicker. Rebel Debate, though, up and down. Good straight draw. Richard kind of double guttered there. King or an 8 would give him a straight. Rebel Debate, of course, holding 2 of those 8s, and we're 4 ways to the turn. There's a queen. Richard gets top pair, but Rebel Debate does get the low end of the straight all the way up to the queen. Let's see how he proceeds. Richard checks it over. It looks like Shay going to check, and Mark with his top second pair now is going to be betting. That queen of spades did complete the rainbow. Rebel Debate, of course, calling. Not going to be raising for value here with 2 players left to act behind. And Richard with his top pair is going to come along for the ride as well. Shay trying to check. Check no good. And he does make the fold there. We are 3 ways to the river. Rebel Debate in the lead with the straight, and there's another 8. Now everybody is playing that same straight. 3-way chop here. I think this is the first time that's happened. Mark says, no way, I want this pot. representing a king, throwing out $35. Not a huge bet. That one says call me. Josh not looking happy at that board. 8, probably the worst card for him. Although technically he does have a set. Of course, the best 5-card hand will play. And Josh going to throw it away. Now down to a 2-way chop for this pot. Richard really thinking about his options. I'm wondering, does Mark really have a king here? It looks like Richard wants to look him up, keep him honest. Don't bluff me out of a chop pot. And he puts in the call. And both players playing the straight on the board. Both players turn over their hands. That would have been a 3-way chop. You can see Josh kind of flailing his arms around, kind of mad at himself for making that fold. A good sizing by by Mark, though. Mark sizing up very value-sized bet right there on the river. Trying to get a call, really representing that king pretty well. Saying, please just call me. I know you got a straight, but please just call me. Sometimes that's the best way to make a bluff, is make it look like a value bet. And it did work. Mark got the pot down from a 3-way chop to a 2-way chop. And we're moving on. Basil still watching from North Korea. He's got a doppelganger here at the table. And now we are moving on. Lots of soft drinks today. I'm not judging. I am drinking water today, so also a soft drink. AK in the chat. What's up, my man? Saying Green Superman. Yeah, Green Superman, one of the alternate Supermans, I think, from one of the universes. I'm not sure. I don't follow Superman that much. But Green Superman does look like he is in it to win it today. Rebel debate with the King-Queen offsuit. Melvin with the Ace-Jack suited. And Kenneth now with the pocket sevens. Going to 3-bet it up to $17. Only gets 2 callers. So we're 3 ways to the flop. $56 in the middle. 8-6-3. Good flop for sevens. And Kenneth going to c-bet here. $50. About half of his stack. Melvin with just ace high and a backdoor club draw here. He's going to fold. Kenneth scooping that pot. Getting $39 in profit. Did have the best hand, but probably satisfied to take that pot down right now. Megan in the chat, watching from North America. Pretty good. I hear things are going okay on that side of the world. Good to have you in the chat. Ahmed saying not much busy at work. He says he's happy and seeing us doing good. Yes, indeed, we are doing good. We have been making it happen, bringing poker to the people here at KoJack's, bringing live streams to the fans. Glad to hear you're doing well, AK. Work is work, but it's a good way to stay paid. And Melvin limping with the ace Quisha here. I like to see that. Of course, Richard's going to play the 7 deuce because it's suited. Smiling about it. And Basil with the king 7 throws those cards in the muck. Shay coming along for $7 with the queen deuce offsuit. And Rebel debate. Mystery hand from under the gun. You love to see it. Megan in the chat, very excited about bringing poker to the people. That's what we do here. This is the People's Poker Club. KoJack's. And looks like we've got a raise. That makes more sense. Melvin not just limping, 3-betting to $21. Not doing a good job of thinning the field, though. We're still 5 ways to the flop. And that flop is high. Queen, Jack, Jack. 2 diamonds. Melvin holding the ace of diamonds. He just goes right all on in. I like to see it. Just a rip. Let's see. Rebel Debate with the mystery hand. Looks like he's got a decision. The decision would be diamonds. Melvin holding the ace of diamonds. So we know that Rebel Debate does not have a suited ace of diamonds, but we do know that Mark is going to call. Outkicked. Melvin all in for his whole stack, putting Mark all in for his whole stack. 161 will be the bet. Looks like just a little bit more than that. Getting the pot right here. 150. Yeah, maybe 161. That looks about right. Melvin applying max pressure. I like it. I like the bet. Now, Mark just looking for a jack. Oh, Melvin could be on his way to a flush, but he does not. DJ7231 says Melvin looks like an old rapper from the 80s who doesn't want to let go of the jewelry. Yeah, the 80s was a wild time. 80s rap fashion was pretty nuts. Melvin looks like he may have dropped a couple of chart-topping hits back in the day. And we have one player eliminated already, but his chair's turned backwards. His Mountain Dew's not going anywhere. I suspect he'll be back pretty soon. And by pretty soon, I mean like right now. There you go. Coming back on in. Megan, getting political. Do I think Biden had dementia the whole time, or was he faking it? I don't know anymore. I don't know what's going on in this political landscape here. Megan, of course, with her opinion coming from North America. Andy with the 10 deuce, going to raise it up from under the gun. A good, strong raise. Jason with the 10-6. He's going to fold a worse hand. That's the power of aggression right there. Shay with the ace-jack. Mark with Charlie's hand, the old 5-3. And we are off to a flop with 5 players in, $55 in the middle. That flop comes out 8-5-4. Pretty decent flop for Mark, all things considered. Flopping a pair. 2 hearts on board. No player holding 2 hearts in their hand. And it looks like it may check around. Even Shay kind of handcuffed with that flop. Another 8 on the turn. Richard doing very well. Getting trips. He's got Mark and Andy drawing dead with that turn card. Let's see if Richard decides to raise on top of Andy's $25 bet. And he does put in some more chips than $25. Raising it up to $60. Shay, no choice but to fold. Let's see what Andy decides to do. He may call and set up a river bluff here, but the question is, does he think Richard is bluffable? Or does he want to just get away from it right now? A strong under-the-gun raise, regardless of the 2 cards he's actually holding. And he decides to let it go. folding the worst hand, deciding not to bluff on the river. I think any heart may have had a chance as long as that heart did not pair the board. But if Andy believes Richard is unbluffable, then that was a good fold right there. I believe the correct fold as well. Folding 10 deuce high. Now Mr. William is under the gun here. Sipping on a Corona Premier. I like it. Melvin with the queen 9. Kenneth with 2 9s. And Richard folding. Basil with his favorite hand. Folding it. What is happening? It is a full moon out there. Things are getting crazy. It's wild outside right now. Basil folding his favorite hand. Unbelievable. I never thought I'd live to see the day. And it looks like we've got a new dealer coming in. Here's a look at the stack sizes right now. Melvin far and away the winner after winning that all in at Mark's expense. Up to $543 now. Richard up to $285. Switch those numbers around. Jason at $258. William at $193. Mark at $189. Rebel Debate down to $113. Still plenty of room to make some moves. Almost 60 bigs in Mr. Rebel Debate's stack. Got some viewers in the chat. Thanks for lighting up the chat. Make sure to leave a like. Leave a comment where you're watching from. Got one person watching from North Korea. Got another one watching from North America. Interesting. And here we go. We're on to the next hand. Looks like a card was exposed. Is that the 8 of hearts? Looks like the 8 of hearts. And Melvin with the king 5. Going to raise it up from +1. Shay with the king deuce. Calling as well, but look at this Rebel Debate. I was just saying. Had an opportunity to win a big pot, get back to even, and he looks down at pocket queens. Juan Villa in the chat, my man. How are you doing? Watching from North Midland. I hear things are getting pretty crazy up in that part of the world. And here we go. Andy with the ace-queen. Out of the small blind, just shoving over the top. Getting an accurate count here. Chart says 151. Actually had 152. Melvin likes the suited king. He's coming along for the ride. He says, I've got chips to spare. Let's gamble a little bit. He is all in and behind. And now that Josh is coming along, he is even further behind. Josh actually with the most equity right now. Trying to dodge an ace or a king. Ace will give Andy the best hand, of course, and a king will give Melvin the best hand. Also looking out for running spades to give Melvin that flush. We've got a three-way all-in. We have not made it to hand number 10 yet. Seen 2 all-ins so far. Dealer getting the pot right. Mr. Tech is in the box. One of my favorite dealers. Got a pot on the side here. And we're running it once, I think. Max Payne. There's a king right off the top for Melvin. Rebel Debate down to just a queen. The last queen in the deck. That 9, no help. And here we go. It's a 3. Melvin scoops the whole thing, chipping up like crazy. Josh not going to be happy about that one. Way ahead pre-flop. But right there in the window, I think, that king. And Melvin all the way up to 873. Had a good feeling about that hand. That king 5. Maybe a speculative call right there, but hey, it paid off. I say if you get the pot, you made the right decision. Melvin up to $873 right off the bat. Richard up to $278 in second place. A huge gap between first place chip stack and second place chip stack. Richard up to 278. Jason up to 258. And it looks like Josh is taking a walk. He may be back. He usually rebuys. Looks like his water is still there. Still cold. And here we go. We're on to the next hand. We've got hand number 10 coming at you. And there he is. Josh throwing some bills on the table. Love to see it. We get back on the horse. And Josh adding some green chips back into his stack. Looks like he's coming in for 200. Was scanning the names just a second ago, looking for the one that says Josh. I forgot. His alias, Rebel Debate. And Melvin with the suited king once again. This time king deuce of spades. Let's see if he wants to play it. Yep. Throwing out $7. Loves those suited kings. Kenneth with the ace-6 suited. Richard with the 10-9. This time Basil with the ace-king. Big slick. And a 3-bet. $21. Shay with kind of a pump fake. Would have called 7. Looks like he is unsure about 21. But does go ahead and make the call with pocket deuces. You know what they say, pocket deuces never loses. Mark with the queen 3. Josh looking down at a somewhat playable hand there, the jack 10. He does make the call. Andy with the king 7 on the button. Suited. Coming along for the ride. Jason with the 9-7 suited and a small discount. Will play as well. Melvin calling. I don't see Kenneth going anywhere. Even Richard probably enticed to call with those pot odds. Richard, yeah, going to play a pot out of position for $21. Big pot already. 169 before the flop. Dealer Tech making some change, getting ready to go here. 8 ways. Flop is queen 6-4, 2 spades. Melvin's flopping a flush draw up against Jason's flush draw. Kenneth with a pair of 6s and a backdoor heart draw. Shay forced out by Basil's $15 bet. Basil, the pre-flop aggressor in this pot. Gonna do a little C-bet action with that queen on the board. Thinning the field a little bit. Got down from 8 players to 4 on the turn. A massive pot of chips right there. And an 8 comes out, an 8 of hearts, giving Kenneth the flush draw. Basil actually drawing dead. Let's see if he wants to continue to bet here on the turn. He sure does. Trying to take the pot right now. Jason not going anywhere. Looking for a 5 for a straight. Or a spade for a flush. We know it, but Jason doesn't. Jason does not want a spade to come off. River's a jack of hearts. Kenneth makes the best hand. $329 in the middle. What a wild ride this has been. Let's see. Kenneth, Yeah, he does. Going for some value, shoving all in $62 into a pot of $330. Unfortunately, not going to be able to get anyone to call. Jason with just 9 high can't call here either. Melvin with just king high. Going to have a hard time making justification for a call in that spot too. And Jason does fold. A little pump fake from Kenneth. Trying to do a little, trying to get a call out of Melvin. It does not work, and Kenneth looking happy as a clam, dragging a pot right there. $391 headed towards. He is now almost double his buy-in. Megan in the chat saying craziness is out in full force tonight. You are not wrong. Here's a look at some of that craziness. Melvin up to $570. Kenneth up $191. Richard up $55. Jason making a small profit, up $12. William down 10. Shay down 72. Mark, Andy, and Rebel Debate down just a little bit over 200 on their second bullet right now for the live game. We are playing 1-2, and we are playing it aggressively. Already seen multiple pots of over 100 big blinds, and we're only on hand number 11. Richard with the K tray in the +1, going to make the fold. Basil with the 6 deuce out of there. Shay with the 6-5 coming along. He's going to make a call. Mark holding the Basil. The Jack 10. Rebel Debate with the Ace 10. Andy also with the Jack 10. And William 9-4 suited goes in the muck. Jason 9-8 offsuit. And look at this Melvin with the pocket queens. It seems like when Melvin has the worst hand, he still wins the pot. And then pre-flop folds around to him, and he's got the best hand. Looks like Melvin is going to be raising it up. $21? Yeah, 21 is the bet. Mark making the call with the Jack 10. Rebel Debate calling for 14 more. Melvin just juicing the pot a little bit. And we are moving on to a flop. We are 5 ways to that flop with $107 in the middle. And there's a queen right there for Melvin. He's going to smooth check. Staying sneaky. I like it. The 7 comes off of clubs, potentially bringing in a flush draw. Melvin checks again, allowing Andy to bet. Andy up and down here for a straight draw. Jason not quite as good with the 9-8. He folds. Melvin looking like he wants to check raise here. Puts out 50. And another 100. 150. Mark gets out of the way. Melvin goes all in immediately. Andy's coming for those chips. I like to see the aggression here. Andy just 118 in his stack. Makes the call for slightly less. And we are back to all in here. The craziness is in full force tonight. We got that moon going. And we are off to a river card. And the river card's an ace. Andy hits his straight. Chipping up, 343 in the middle. All of it going to Andy. Andy is up over his starting stack. Melvin not hurting for chips, though. Still at about $600 after buying in for $200. You know, just a quick triple up. No big deal. And there we go. We are off to the next hand. Andy now only down $14, according to our graphics here. Don Williams enjoying from Indiana. How are you doing, sir? Glad you could join us once again. What's the poker scene like in Indiana? Is it as wild as what we've got here in Texas? I gotta know. And we've got hand number 12 coming along here. Richard with the king 4 suited, under the gun, going to throw out a call. Basil 4-3 offsuit, not going to do it for him this time. He is out of the way. Rebel Debate throwing out some calling chips here. Andy out of there after winning that last pot. Does not want to go for 2 in a row. William throwing out some calling chips. It looks like Melvin going to make the call too. $8 is the bet. And Kenneth throwing out some calling chips as well as Richard. Looks like we are 5 ways to the flop, I believe, if my math is correct. Jack 10 for Rebel Debate. And he had the 10-3. And William with the king 6. Jason with the queen deuce in the muck. Melvin with the 9-8 offsuit. Flop comes out Jack 6-5. Rebel Debate spiking top pair. Melvin looking for a 7 for a straight. And another 5 on the turn does not help Melvin. Rebel Debate goes all in and chips up. He gets that pot. Got Basil in the chat saying, poker's so sick. You are not wrong. We've already seen some craziness. Melvin getting it in with the king 5 suited, spiking a pair of 5s and holds in a 3-way all in for a easy triple up. Kashif Grant saying, where is this? We are in Midland, Texas, my friend. Yes, Cal TV pointing that out. We are in Midland, Texas, having a great time. Playing some 1-2. It's a supermoon tonight, so I think the action is a little bit crazier than it normally is. Midland, Texas, in my opinion, the capital of poker in the United States. I'm a little bit biased, though, because I am live streaming from Midland, Texas. Shay with the ace deuce, Mark with the king 4, and Rebel Debate with the pocket 3s. Rebel Debate kind of set mining here. William with the suited ace 5. Jason with the 5-4 offsuit, really thinking about making a call here. Out of the cutoff, he's got pretty late position. The 5-4, not the worst hand in the world. Melvin with the 8 deuce suited here, loves those diamonds, as you can tell. Kenneth, though, has him notched with the Jack 9 of diamonds. And it looks like we are almost to a family pot. 8 ways to the flop here out of 10. King 7 tray, king of diamonds. Mark making top pair with the king. Jason actually with a gut shot there. 5-4 offsuit could very well become the best hand by the end of this run out. Rebel Debate, though, super happy to see that 3 on the flop. A very well-disguised set. And he's just going to smooth call. Here comes that turn card. It's a 9. Rebel Debate really hoping for a paired board here. Another king would be the money card for him, giving Mark trips. Kenneth, though, hitting a pair of 9s. And Rebel Debate actually leading out here on this turn. Looks like it might be $53, $54, something like that. Given the call me stare here. Maybe a little table talk, trying to entice a call as well. William with the ace-5 gets out of the picture, quite literally. Jason does make the call, though, looking for his gut shot. He is up and down now. Or no, he is not. He's still looking for a 6. And here we go. We have thinned the field down to 3 players to the river. That river is a paint card. Looks like clubs. If it is a king, Rebel Debate might as well have just hit the jackpot. And he does go all in. And Kenneth with a pair of 9s. Going to have a hard time calling. And it looks like it was a queen on the river. And we may have seen a call. And that'll do it. Joshua, a.k.a. Mr. Rebel Debate, scooping a big pot. Getting back very close to even now, I believe. Yeah, in the black, he's up $123 on the session. By my math, that puts him at $523 in his stack. One of the bigger stacks at the table, though still not quite the same profit as Melvin, up $376 so far. Richard still up $40. Wendy Hargrave saying his dementia was legit. We're staying political here. I like it. Yeah, who knows? Who knows with this world gone mad? What is actually going on? Cal TV says, no shot Kenneth calls there. You know, if you thought he was bluffing, that's a pair of 9's actually a pretty good bluff catcher. The king, though, should have been a scare card. The queen should have been maybe a scare card as well. Mark with the king 4 this time. Suited of the spades variety. Rebel Debate with a wheel holding here, the ace-5. He's got a wheelie good hand. Jason with the ace-6. Going to make the call too. Small pot until it gets to Richard with the ace-king. Throwing out a big chunky raise right there. $24 is that raise. 1-2-24. And Rebel Debate getting out of there with his wheelie good hand. Jason, ace-6, getting out as well. Melvin calling with the the 8-6. 8-6, the old Ocho-6. And here we go. Flop is all diamonds. Kenneth with the queen high flush draw, the second nut flush draw. Richard spiking top pair, top kicker. But he checks it over to Melvin, who's going to bet, looks like $80. It is 80 indeed. And Richard just going all in. Top pair, top kicker, unconcerned by the diamond board right there. And Kenneth had already made the $80 call, so not a whole lot more. I guess another $100 to call. Kenneth does make that call. And I believe we're going to be running it one time here. Oh no, they're discussing it here. Here we go. Here's the turn. It's a 9. No help to Kenneth. Kenneth needs a diamond, and a diamond only to make that flush. He hits a 10. Not good enough. That's board number 1. Richard locking up half of the pot. There's a queen. Kenneth pulls a couple more outs. Another queen or a 5 will do it. It's a 9 of diamonds. Kenneth gets half of the pot. Both players chopping up $418 for a total profit of 56 buckaroos on that pot. Tech gonna stack some chips. Our dealer right there, one of my favorite dealers. Stacking them up and distributing them. And we just got done with our double board bomb pot tournament yesterday. But Sunday, we've got our deep stack tournament. $3,000 guarantee on that. We'll be playing that on the 17th. The last time this month that we'll be running this tournament. Starting at 3 p.m., come check us out. We do have an early bird special on that. If you register before the tournament begins or during the first level, you get some extra chips. Or you can purchase $20 worth of chips for $10K. You'll start out with 30,000 chips. I believe the blinds begin at 100, 200, so a lot of big blinds to start off with. And in the break, $100 will get you another 30,000 chips. Deep stack tournament for the ages. Last time we did this on the 3rd, it was a very successful tournament, and I do expect another very successful tournament this weekend. Tech pitching out some cards. That means we're on to hand number 14. Or 15. Hand number 15. Lost count already. I can barely count to 5 when I'm making a straight. Much less 15. Andy with the Jack 9 suited. Looks like he's going to call. William with the Queen 10 suited of spades. Jason with the 6 deuce suited. Going to fold. Melvin playing the 9 deuce. Kenneth folding the 6-4. Richard playing the 7-6. Basil with the King Queen. Ace 7 Queen. 2 diamonds on board for Mr. Andy. Got the second nut flush draw here. And there's a jack. Andy improves. Gets a pair of jacks to go along with his flush draw, but Basil's pair of queens still best right now. Kashif, no, it is not a freeze out. The deep stack tournament will allow you to register as many times as you can / want to during the registration period. $10 bet from Basil gets called 3 ways. 4 players to the turn. It's an 8 of hearts. No diamonds for Andy. Basil's pair of queens actually best here. He's got William outkicked. Basil bets $20. Let's see if William comes along. Can he get away from this with just a 10 kicker? A lot of 2-pair combinations on that board. Kashif saying we need more freeze outs in this world. I agree. I love the freeze out structure. Really puts a lot at stake at the very beginning of the tournament. And William does make the call. Pays Basil off, and Superman is tipping the dealer right there. Now, typically, we don't run freeze outs. We did do a pseudo freeze out during our series that came out in our October series. But typically, we don't do the freeze outs because when players register multiple times, all that money goes into the prize pool. Really fattens up the pot. But I agree. I do like the freeze out structure. I like the high stakes feeling that it gives you. You got 1 bullet and 1 bullet only for that tournament. Rebel Debate with the 9 deuce suited. Going to limp along from the under the gun position. Jason with the 6 tray folds. Melvin with the 10-6 suited. Looks like he's putting together a call. Likes those suited cards. They have been working very well for him so far this session. Oh, Melvin putting together a raise up to $7. Looks like Kenneth's going to call with a really good hand. Oh, no. Kenneth raises it up $17. Richard making the call with 5 deuce. Got a guy in this room that loves that hand. Rebel Debate kind of defeatedly throwing in a call right there. Shay coming along, though, with the Queen Jack of clubs. Mark with the 10-8 of clubs. And Kenneth with the Ace-5 of clubs. So let's see how many clubs are left in the deck. Let's get a monotone flop out here. What do we say? Not quite monotone. 8-5 tray. 2 spades. Melvin with the spade draw. Those suited hands really working well for Melvin. Mark, though, going all in. He's got top pair, decent kicker. And the best hand so far. Melvin does have more equity. A lot of room to improve on many turn cards. Almost a coin flip here, 55-45, now that it's down to just 2 players. Melvin looking for some spades. First card off the deck, there it is, Jack of spades, giving Melvin the flush. And that'll do it. Even though Mark hits 2 pair on the river, it is no good. Melvin chipping up. And thanks for checking us out here. We are KoJack's in Midland, Texas, playing some Texas Hold'em of the 1-2 variety. Got a full moon out there. I'm told it's a super moon. Some craziness going on, no doubt. Make sure to stay safe out there. And if you're hearing the sound of my voice, you're in the right spot for the best poker on the internet, IMO. Though, again, I am a little bit biased. And if this is making you itch for some poker, come out and see us. KoJack's in Midland. We got tables running right now. Got cash tables. We got tournament tables most days. This Sunday, we've got the deep stack. Shark-infested waters. $240 entry plus a $20 bonus will get you another 10,000 chips. Starting out with $30K, but if you get that bonus, you'll start out with $40K. And there is a $100 add-on in the first break at the end of registration for another 30,000 in chips. So make sure to come out and play that. $3K guarantee on that prize pool, but I wouldn't be surprised to see us hit 4,000, maybe even 4,500. Now, I will be right back for a break while we distribute these cards. Give me about 2 minutes. And we are back just in time to see some craziness unfolding. Megan, never fear. I am back. Basil making Broadway. Melvin with the low end of the straight here. Basil goes all in. It'll be tough to get away from. See if Melvin can sniff it out. Jason chowing down on some brownies right there. A tasty treat. Megan, the spokeswoman for the chat, saying we were losing it here without you. That's okay. That tends to happen. I am the voice of reason. No, I'm kidding. And Melvin does make the call. Had the 9 there for the second nuts. But Basil with the nuts, indeed. Yeah, actually, I'm just realizing Melvin had a 7-card straight, though that does not beat a higher 5-card straight. And now Melvin back down to earth in terms of chip stack, down to 464, but still up 264. Still doubling his initial buy. Basil doing well for himself, up 267. He is now the winner of this game so far, winning $3 more than Melvin at this point. Of course, that will change. We've got about another hour left on this stream. William now this time with the 9-8 suited. Jason with the pocket 3s worked out for Mr. Josh, a.k.a. Rebel Debate, earlier in the session. Richard with the king-queen offsuit. Rebel Debate 6-5 offsuit this time. Andy with the jack-9 suited, this time of diamonds, drinking a Coors. I like it. Megan always on hashtag Team Basil. Andy bringing out the shades, too. Got a beer and a shades. Hey, shades. And we are 9 ways to the flop. All 9 players are in. 7-7-6 on the board. Rebel Debate making a pair. William up and down, going to bet $20 at it. Kenneth making the fold. Richard making the fold. Basil making the fold. Shay out of there. So is Josh. And Andy out of there, too. We're off 2 ways to the turn card. It's a king of clubs. I may be missing something here. Oh, Kenneth has the queen high. Kenneth bets $100, and William will fold. Kenneth, a good bet. Oh, it looks like it was Melvin in that hand. Melvin with a good bet there. Betting the overcard. Forcing William to fold. Jake Bishop saying, we love Kenny. Yes, we do. We got some fans in the chat, everybody. We got Megan on hashtag Team Basil. We got Jate on hashtag Team Kenny. I'm on Team Joey, our dealer extraordinaire, back in the box. William in the big blind this time. That means Jason is under the gun. Jason looks down at the 8-7 offsuit. Melvin with the 10-8 offsuit. Richard, the king-9 suited. The K9 teacup poodle. And I have not seen a fold yet. Another family pot. Is this 2 in a row? Jay kind of confused me a little bit. I believe it is Kenny's wife using a different Facebook account. Flop comes out all diamonds. Kenny with the queen high flush draw, but Mark's got the ace high flush draw. Let's see if Kenny can avoid disaster. 10, 9, 6. Basil flopping top pair, good kicker. Andy also with top pair, but no kicker. Oh, we got Meg in the chat cheering Kenny on. We got Megan in the chat cheering on Basil. Love to see these Meg chat pros right here. This is a mega chat. Mega chat? It is a mega chat. Well, I'm glad you're having a good time, Meg. Thank you for cheering on Kenneth. Wearing a hilarious shirt last time we were on the live stream. Now it looks like Jason has the option. Piecing together a bet here. He did flop a straight. He's got the best hand so far. He's going to bet $30. Melvin, unbridled aggression right here, is going to raise it up to $103. I believe that's a prime number. Not positive on that. Mark 103 to call. He's got the nut flush draw. He's got a pair of fours. He just goes all in for another $79, or $76 rather, at least according to our graphics. Now Jason's stuck in a position here. He bets. Next to act raises. Next to act goes all in. Got to be wondering, is the straight good here? Jason with no diamonds. Going to have to put all his chips in the middle if he wants to call. Tough decision here. Melvin with the bling, sitting almost motionless. Jason shuffling his chips while he thinks. Kenny did avoid disaster on this hand, though. Jade, you got to be happy with that one. Or sorry, Meg, you got to be happy with this one. Jason taking his time, though. It is a big decision. $404 already in the pot. Almost made a call. Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Jason really putting the action together here, trying to piece the story together. Melvin going all in next to act. Jason already with a made straight. Could be the second best hand. Meg saying Kenneth knows what he's doing. Yes, he does. And not to brag or anything, but I did pick his seat on the last live stream. He was grateful. I didn't pick his seat this time, but he looks like he's doing pretty well. And Jason turning over his cards. It looks like we have a clock called. Our manager extraordinaire, Miss Kelly, standing behind, staring at her watch. Melvin unfazed by Jason turning over his straight. And Jason makes the fold. Melvin is in the lead right now, but any diamond, any ace will change that. Here we go to the run out. It's a 7. Jason would have been good. Mark throws his hand in the middle. The second best hand this time. Melvin scooping up another pot. Now he's up to $925 in his stack. Meg saying Kenneth is picky on his seat. It's important. I totally understand where he's coming from. I am not superstitious about which seat I'm in. Just a little stitious about it. But some players are justifiably more than superstitious about it. I do think it's funny when people change seats multiple times during a session. And here we go, on to the next hand. We've made it to hand number 20, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Having a good time watching some 1-2 right now. Hope you are having a good time as well. It's about dinner time. Full moon dinner time. And a run to the store after this and pick up some groceries. Speaking of food, got to figure out what to make for a little midnight snack. Here's what I did the other day. Bought some brownies, some fudge brownies. Put them in the microwave for about 20 seconds and then put some cherry ice cream on top. That's a great midnight snack. Not great for you, but man, it tasted good. Now, William picking up the King 9. The teacup poodle today. Melvin playing a suited queen. Andy with the ace 7. And we got the table all in. Flop comes out. Jack 10-9. 3 in a row. Melvin up and down with his queen. William with a pair of 9s. Melvin up and down and with the flush draw. Melvin betting $11, putting Richard to the test. He's going to make the fold. It's on Shay now with the 8 tray. Shay also up and down, but he is drawing to a worse straight. Jason out of the way. William makes the call with the teacup poodle. He's got the King 9. And we've got a new player coming in. An ace. Ace on the turn. Richard and Melvin now both looking for Broadway. As is William. That ace really defeated Shay's outs. If he gets a 7, he will be good. It's a deuce of spades. Melvin picking up another flush. Talking about choosing the right seat. Looks like Melvin is doing just that. Got the queen high flush. And he makes a smooth check right there. Pot's $56. Decided not to go for any value. Probably felt like he couldn't get called. I believe he would have been right in this instance. All right, we've got Mr. Dennis coming on in. Seat number 7. He is transferring from our 1-2 game that we've got running on the floor in the main room. So that's why he came in for more than the 200 max. That's what he had on the table. And he is coming in for 510. Melvin, the big winner on the session, up $768 for a total chip stack of $968. Dennis coming in for 510. Rebel Debate up to $487, making an $87 profit. Basil up to $483, up about $283. Andy at $304. William with a little work to do, as does Shay at $70. Kenneth, our graphics are showing $37 in his stack, but he does have About 150, I believe. Yeah, Rebel Debate. Looking at pocket sixes. Jason with the J3. Going to make the fold. Melvin with the 10-5. Looking at making a call. Richard with the Queen 6 coming along as well. Any two cards will do. And we are off to a flop. We've got 6 players in there. $69 in the middle. That flop comes out. King 10-5. 2 hearts. Andy with the backdoor nut flush draw. Rebel Debate with the pair of sixes. But William with top pair, top kicker. 2 black cards. Megan in the chat saying that brownie sundae sounds amazing. Yeah, it was pretty good. I sound like a genius. Just because I'm able to put together 2 types of sweets, I'll take it. Melvin with the 10-5 here. 2 pair. Looks like he's going to be taking the aggressive route, putting together 100 and change. There he goes. 2 hands, double fisting. Looks like what, 115, 112 is the bet. Rebel Debate gonna have a hard time calling that. He does fold. Andy having a tough time as well. He's gonna fold too. But William makes the call. William goes all in for slightly less. Heads up to a turn and a river. Let's see if they run it multiple times. William really just ran into it there. 2 pair versus his top pair, top kicker. And the board comes out. Blank and a jack. And that'll give Melvin the pot. 2 pair. Melvin chipping up. He is the first player up over $1,000. We did it, everybody. It didn't even take us that long. We've been streaming for about an hour and 20 minutes right now. Melvin all the way up to $1,100. Kenneth says $37, but it looks like he's more like 140, 150 or so. Shay Shay at $70. That does look about right. Jason at $80. After starting off with a big win early, Jason got a little catching up to do, but I do believe he's able to pull it off. We've still got plenty of time here on this live stream, and after this live stream ends, this game runs for a good long time. Andy with the ace-king offsuit. Seven deuce for Kenneth. He's going to call the $8. And William put some cash on the table, ready to play some more. Sipping that Corona Premier. Unfazed. Queen 8-5 on the flop. Shay Shay with top pair. Rebel Debate making a pair of 5s. Kenneth may have thoughts of check raising here. Andy with the ace-king going to bet $20. See if Kenneth pulls the trigger. No, he doesn't. He folds. Trying to steal a pot with that 7 deuce. Did not work out this time. Kind of a tough configuration to pull off a bluff like that. Shay Shay makes the call. Rebel Debate coming along as well. Or no, Rebel Debate folds. And the turn card is a 7. Shay still with top pair. Yeah, check on the turn. Here's that river card, a 5. Shay takes it down. Pair of queens, pair of 5s. And check on the river. Shay with that pot. Looks like he's got about 130 plus 60. Shay stacking those chips. And we've got another hand coming at us. We've also got another tournament coming at us that, oops, we're playing Charlie's 1-2 game. Click the wrong button. That is right next to our deep stack tournament flyer. That's going to be on Sunday. $240 will get you in. 30,000 chips for $240 or 40,000 chips for $260. I say take the $20 bonus. We'll also have a $100 add-on in the first break. That'll allow you to pick up even more chips, another 30K coming at you. That will be our deep stack. Not a freeze out. Will be a rebuy tournament, I believe. Basil with the queen 9 this time under the gun. Going to make the call for $2. Ace Trey for Andy of the clubs variety. Kenneth with the pocket 7s. Richard with the Jack 10, Basil's favorite hand. Kenneth raising it up with the pocket pair. That may thin the field, but maybe not too much. Basil folds the queen 9. Shay getting sticky with the king 4. Dennis out of there. Andy coming along for the ride. William out. See if Melvin wants to stay in with his 9-8. And it looks like he does. There's a whole mess of white chips in the middle. Those white chips are worth $1 each. The reds are worth $5, and the greens are worth $25. Ace 10-4. 2 spades. Andy hitting top pair. Backdoor wheel draw. Shay making a pair of 4s. Oh, there's a 3 on the turn. Andy with 2 pair now, but it is a 3 of diamonds, bringing in a backdoor flush draw. No player holding diamonds or spades. Andy betting $50. Getting Kenneth to fold. Richard does have a pair of 10s, but he reluctantly puts his cards in the middle. Shay with the king 4. Folds right away, and Andy will scoop that pot. Moving on to the next one. We've made it to hand number 24. Got a good couple of viewers in the chat. Thanks for checking us out. We do appreciate it. We are KoJack's in Midland, Texas, playing some Texas Hold'em. Having a good time. Got some tournaments on the horizon. We've got some more tournaments for the end of the year, and I don't want to speak too soon, but some pretty cool stuff happening for the beginning of next year. I am looking forward to that more than you know. And we are playing 1-2 tonight. We are 10-handed here at this live stream. All 10 seats are filled to the brim. And we're also going to keep this game running here. Probably about another 20 or 30 minutes on the live stream before we shut it down. But this game will not shut down for a good couple hours. So if you want to play some poker, we are the best game in town. Come check us out. We've got pretty good games running right now. We've got some 5 on the button. We've got some 1-2 in the main room. We've got some 1-2 live stream. And we've got some tournaments this weekend. Andy raising it up to $10. Just a couple of callers. We are 5 ways to the flop. Melvin with the pocket 5s this time. Shay with the queen 8 suited. And flop comes out jack high, jack 7-6. Jason with the best pair right now. Got the backdoor heart draw working for him as well. But he doesn't know that he doesn't want to hit it. Andy with the ace-queen of hearts. Would do better. Jason bets 15. Melvin calls 15. Kenneth calls 15. Andy coming along for the ride, looking for that backdoor flush. Got 2 overcards. Gonna peel one off, see what happens on the turn. And let's see here. Joey putting out a 7 of diamonds, completing the rainbow, pairing the board. Jason's jacks looking a little bit better. He does decide to bet another $15. Melvin calling another $15. Get the pair of 5s. Andy with the ace-queen. Still looking for an ace or a queen. There's a king. Andy checks. Jason checks. Melvin checks. And Jason will drag that pot with a pair of jacks. Picking up $158 in the middle. Now down back to about even. Only down $2 from his buy-in. Yeah, it looks like William requesting another beer. We are BYOB over here, so feel free to bring in whatever you like. Some players drinking some beers, cracking some cold ones. Some players bringing some liquor, having a good time with that. We do have soft drinks, free and available to all of our members, a.k.a. mixers. So if you do bring some liquor, feel free to mixer. Andy with the 10-9 this time. William with the ace-deuce. He's going to fold. And another Coors for Andy as well. Melvin with the king-9. The K9. The teacup poodle. He's going to call the $10 that Andy raised it to. Kenneth coming along as well as Richard. Basil with the ace-queen. Just making a call out of position. Staying a little sneaky. Flop comes out ace-high, though. Ace-king-7. Kenneth with 2 pair. Melvin with the king-9. Melvin going to bet $45. Kenneth with 2 pair, though. This could be an all-in moment. Kenneth, it says $85 in his stack. It looks like he does put them all in the middle. Basil, top pair. Good kicker. Some would say the best kicker. Saul in the chat asking who that is with the clown mask. That is Basil. He's got some snake eyes today. Not giving any facial information away. Always comes dressed to impress. Color-coded outfit. It looks like Kenneth goes all in. Basil calling the all-in, perhaps, or raising on top of it. Kenneth all in for 85. It says Basil all in, or raising to 90. It looks like Melvin makes the call. Got $20 on the side for now. We got $10 on the side for now. And a 5 of spades comes off. Basil already betting before that card even hits the board. Basil, one of our regulars here at our 1-2 live stream game. I think he shows up every week Was in the one-seat position the whole time. Has since changed it. Started moving around the table a little bit. There's a 10 on the river. Kenneth's 2-pair is best. And Basil and Kenneth show. Kenneth going to scoop that pot. $307 headed to him. Basil picking up the side pot with the pair of aces. And the main pot going to Kenneth. Going to have a good time stacking those chips. Here's a look at those stack sizes right now. While we have a dealer change going on, Melvin up to 890. Did briefly hit over that over that $1,000 mark. Got to stack up to $1,100. Dennis up to $499. Rebel Debate up to $466. Basil up to $439. Kenneth now over $300. Andy just shy of $300. And Shay looks like has added on for $200, sitting at that same $200 mark. Jason, kind of a roller coaster ride. Does look like he's got about $198. That was his first buy, so he's only down $2. William at $198 on his second buy. And Richard at $151, I believe, on his first buy. Basil in the chat saying, damn that boy. Rebel Debate with the Queen Jack, and this time Williams got the Ace Queen. Melvin with the 9-5, Kenneth with the 10 deuce, Richard with the 10-8 suited. We've been liking suited cards today for just about everybody at the table. Yeah, Richard going nowhere makes the $11 call. Four ways to the flop, 46 in the middle. Flop comes out ace, king, queen. William with 2-pair. Rebel Debate looking for a 10 to make Broadway. Got the pair of queens to go along with it. Bet $16. William jumping out of his seat. Looks pretty excited about that. Trying not to give anything away. Let's see if he goes for a call or a raise here. Does raise 75. Shay looking for a 10 as well. Does fold. And Rebel Debate folds as well. William trying to pile some money into that pot. Gets no customers. But still scoops that pot. 137 in the middle. William now up to 249 in his stack. And we have hand number 27 coming at us. 27 usually a big hand. Let's see how big this hand gets. I'm going to say 5 ways to the flop. I'm going to say $240 by the end in the pot. $240 pot by the end of it. 5 ways to the flop. Let's see. Let's see how close that is. Andy with the 8-9 suited. William with the Jack-10 offsuit. Andy throwing in a raise immediately up to $6. No, $7. Jason with the 5 trade. Charlie's hand coming along for the ride. Kenneth with the King-Jack. Richard with the Jack-6. And Basil with the 7 deuce. A little more than 5 ways to the flop this time. We are 8 ways to the flop. And that flop is Jack 5-4. William with a pair of jacks, but Kenneth with the better pair of jacks. And here we go. Jason facing a bet of 23. He's got a pair of fives. And he does make the call. Kenneth making the call as well. He's got the best hand right now. Richard made a pair of jacks. He's going to come along for the ride, see what happens. He's also got a backdoor straight that he's working on here. A lot of turn cards to improve. And that turn card is a deuce. Does improve Richard. He is looking for a 3 to make a straight. Jason looking for an ace or a 6 to make a straight. 2 diamonds on board, though no player holding diamonds. Kenneth piecing out a bet. He's going to bet. He's got the best hand right now. 3-6 does get there, but looks like Kenneth is undeterred by that possibility. Betting $50 into a pot of about 200. Richard snap calls right there. William out of there with a worse jack. And Jason up and down straight. Draw. He does put in the call, but he shakes his head as he does so. And there's the ace. Jason gets there. He checks. A sneaky check. I like it. Letting Kenneth bet. Kenneth does go ahead and put together a bet. Looks like 75 maybe. Oh, another 50. And it looks like Richard slides out the chips before Kenneth can. Jason with the straight. Raises. Going for value here. I like the aggression. A good time for a raise. A check raise on the river means a lot of strength. Let's see if Kenneth can sniff this one out here. He is thinking about it. He's reaching for chips. Oh, Jason turning over his hand before Richard. And Richard gets away from it with some free information right there. And there you go. Jason will take down that pot. Now up to 576 in his stack. Getting a little bit above even. My graphics show a small profit. Always nice when you're sitting at the poker table. And don't forget, we got our deep stack tournament coming up this weekend. 3K guarantee at 3 p.m. Easy to remember. $240 to get you some chips and a chair, which is technically all you need to win. Another $20 to get you another 10,000 chips. Certainly couldn't hurt. And we're going to be doing an add-on in our first break. Right as registration ends, $100 add-on for 30,000 more chips. We're also doing early bird special if you get in before the second level. So if you register before the tournament begins or in the first level, you get some bonus chips. I believe it's 10K extra chips as well. So come out and see us and join that tournament early for an even deeper stack. William folding a pretty junk hand. Not going to be too upset about that one. Jason with the 9-8 offsuit. Won a pot last hand. Let's see if he can go for 2 in a row. Melvin with the king-queen. Kenneth with the 8-deuce. Folds. Richard with the jack-3. Coming along for the ride. Who knows? The flop could be jack-jack-3. Dennis with the jack-10. Rebel Debate 9-3 suited, and Andy with the pocket 6s. Jason limped in, faced a raise, and does make the call there. Let's see if Jason can go for 2 in a row. He will be mostly out of position here. King 5 deuce on the flop. 2 hearts. Rebel Debate looking for that flush right there. Melvin with top pair. Yeah, we got about another 15 minutes left on the live stream thereabouts. Just enough time for a couple more hands, or by my count, a couple of all-ins. Andy with the pocket sixes folds to Melvin's bet. Melvin looks like he's almost up to $1,000 once again. $980. We've made it to hand number 28. That means 29 is being shuffled up right there. Not too bad. Doing about 30 hands in a little less than 2 hours. Do in the chat, my man. Good to hear from you, my friend, saying best commentary. Yeah, well, you know, it's better than nothing. But glad to have you, my friend. How you been? Did pretty well in our last tournament, I believe. And you gonna come play our deep stack on Sunday, I hope. Andy with the queen 6, Kenneth with the 9-5. The old Dolly Parton. And Richard with the 10-5 suited. Dennis with the Jack 8 and Rebel Debate. King Queen suited on the button. Going to raise it up to $11. 1,100 cents. And gets no folds. We are still 5 ways to the flop here. This time, $56 in the middle. And that flop comes out, King Deuce Deuce. Rebel Debate making 2 pair right there on the flop. Kings and deuces. He's going to bet. Keeping up the aggression. The pre-flop aggressor is continuation betting here. $55 is the right size, according to Rebel Debate. And Richard's going to fold. Dennis, not much in his hand to call with, so he folds as well. And Josh picking up another pot right there. And the button moves. We've made it to hand number 30. Thanks for joining us, everybody. It was a good live stream. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Still another couple of hands. Probably about 10 minutes left. Maybe, what, 2 or 3 more hands? I do appreciate the viewership. I like the comments. Throw a 1 in the chat if you have subscribed to us either today or previously. Let me know who's watching, who's subscribed. If you haven't subscribed yet, just hit that subscribe button. Punch a 1 in the chat. And let us know how we're doing. Hopefully we're having a good time. It is a full moon tonight. I'm told it's a super moon, so be safe. Melvin throwing away the queen 3. It was not suited. Kenneth with the K-tray. Puts in some call-in chips. Richard with the 5 deuce. Could be a raise. 15 is the raise. Shay with the 9-8 suited. Coming along for the ride. Looks like he's drinking a Coors also. Deuce saying he was late working on Sunday, I believe. That is a bummer. That's okay. We'll catch you next time. We got way more tournaments. Do also saying Jason's straight hand was amazing. Yes, it was. And it held up. He got a big pot out of that one, too. It's always nice to get paid off. King, Jack, 8, 2 hearts. No player holding hearts. Kenneth with a pair of kings, though. Andy up and down with his straight draw. Shay with a pair of 8s. Going to check it. checks around on the flop. And there's a 9 of hearts. Again, no player holding 2 hearts, but Kenneth now improves to the second nut flush draw. $155 in the pot. Shay calls a $25 bet from Kenneth. Looks like Andy throws out a call there. William really thinking about it. Yep, does put in a green chip. That's good enough for a call. Jason's pocket sixes not feeling too good after all that action. And the river card is a queen. And he gets there on the straight. William checks. First to act. Kenneth did not quite make the flush. Still got a pair of kings, though. He's going to check. Shay betting. Andy calling. Trying to entice a couple more callers rather than raising. And Kenneth does make the call with the king. Andy shows the straight. And Andy takes down that pot. 241 in the middle, of which 189 is profit. And we are moving on. Hand number 31 coming at you. I believe we've got about 2 more hands here. 1 or 2 more hands. It has been a good, successful live stream. Thanks to everyone watching. It would not have been a success without all our chat pros in the chat, our viewer pros, even our tournament pros. Plays a lot of tournaments. Does very well for himself. Hitting a lot of final tables. And we are moving on. Tech in the box, shuffling it up. Now, if you have the itch to play some poker, come out and see us. We are going to be playing all night. This live stream game does end here in about 10 or so minutes. But the game will carry on even after we stop the live stream. Uh-oh. I dropped something. All right, here we go. Back into the action. Kenneth with the Jack-7. Richard looking down at a really good hand here. A suited ace-5 of diamonds. Dennis also with a really good hand. And Melvin with the 6 tray. A lot of low cards here. I'm willing to bet the flop is going to come out pretty high. Thinking king, queen, jack, something like that. And there is a board. There is $13 in the middle. A check from Melvin. Hey, king, 3, 4. Kind of a low flop right there. 1 diamond for Richard. 1 club for Dennis. And Richard looking for a 2. To make that wheel. $12 is the bet from Basil. And Richard does make the call. We're still 5 ways to the turn. And there's a 10. 10 of clubs, as a matter of fact. Dennis improves. I'm looking for a club for that nut flush. Richard's still looking for a 2. This time he does not want the 2 of clubs. Basil going to keep up the aggression. He's betting again with his 2 pair. Looks like a chunky. Yeah, I was about to say $60 there. Trying to scare anybody off from chasing their flush or straight. Dennis does make the call, though. Let's see if Richard wants to stay sticky. Looking for a deuce to make a wheel. Richard really thinking about it, piecing the action together, trying to figure out what these other players may have, and he does make the fold. We're down to 2 for the river. Dennis with a lot of outs there across the top of your board, top of your screen. The 9 of diamonds, not one of them, though. Basil's 2 pair is best. Check, check on the river, and Basil will take down that pot. Basil up to $558 in his stack. I believe he's only on the first bullet. Yeah, he's up about $330, $350. Very good to see. And we are moving on here. This could be the last hand of the live stream. And Jason showing off maybe his dating profile to Melvin. I'm kidding. I don't know what it was. Couple of Coors Lights around the table. Couple of Corona Premiers around the table. Couple of Basil fans in the chat named Megan. Couple of Kenneth fans in the chat named Meg. Love to see it. We got Dew in the chat. We got Shane in the chat. Is that Drew Carey? For all I know, it might be. I watched some Whose Line Is It Anyway, actually, the other night. That's a pretty funny show. Now, Richard with the pocket 8s. Rebel Debate with the ace-jack. Andy with the queens, though. The best hand for now. Richard in a little bit of trouble potentially with the snowmen playing from out of position. And here we go off to the flop here. This is a pretty spicy hand. I believe this might actually be the last hand of the night. Of the live stream, not of the night. I should clarify. 10-6-4. Everybody misses. Richard still with a pair of 8s. Rebel still with ace-jack high. Andy still with a pair of queens. He's going to bet $50 with the overpair. Richard with second pair. Going to be thinking about it here. Richard does not like to fold. And it looks like he does not want to fold right here. He goes all in. $118 behind. Rebel Debate going to fold, and Andy snap calls. Richard needs a lot of help here, down to just 2 outs. A 7 or a 9, even a 5 would improve him. Pick up a couple more outs on any of those cards. But he needs that on the next card to come. Any blank will have him drawing to just 2 outs. And the turn card is a blank. The river card is a jack. It must have been a 9. And Richard scoops the pot. Well, that's going to do it for us, everybody. That is the last hand of the night. We do appreciate you coming out for our live stream today. And if you want to check out some poker action, we are still running games. We've got a couple games running. Got a 5 on the button. We've got this live stream game, which is full right now, but you can add yourself to the wait list. We'll be running this game for a good long time to come. A lot of money on the table, a lot of action, as you just saw. We got that full moon out there, so everybody be safe tonight. And don't forget, we've also got our tournament here coming up on Sunday. The Deep Stack tournament is going to be this Sunday at 3 p.m. $3,000 guaranteed. $240 will get you a seat, but $260 will get you the full $40,000 in chips. And if you register early before the end of the first level, you'll get, I believe, another $10,000 in free chips, part of our early bird special. So come check us out, everybody. Sure had a good time watching. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next time, everybody. Stay